So are you just like me and you ended up getting bored of the basketball event? Wow, guess what? I did too. But that's okay because at the end of the day, I know there's a lot of players out there that are utilizing this event, but I started to do the time trials and I didn't realize how actually broken they made this buff. Now, I know when I say it's broken, you do have to put in the work in order to get the benefits out of this. And I would really recommend if you do this, you're gonna have to actually upgrade your team. Now, of course, I have been seeing a lot of players not be able to beat like 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, stuff like that. I was able to get my stuff just a little under 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I forgot what it was at the top of my head, but I am able to do this right around 3 minutes or so. And this is for all 10 rounds. How does this work? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it now, shall we? So for starters, if you don't already have like a super aggressive team, you do have the damage boosters. However, remember, they do expire after a certain amount of time, so if you do end up spending certain gems, just remember that they're gonna end up being useless once the cycle repeats. Now, this is kind of gonna go off of the previous videos that I've done for the time trials. However, the only difference is obviously we do have a 10 limit and it's not unlimited pretty much. So you have to make every single action count. However, during the time trials, you have 5 tries before it kicks in and you're able to earn points for these chests here. So that's the nice part. So you're able to prime up your team before you end up making any crazy decisions. But I don't believe you go through all 10 rounds. You do a certain amount and then obviously you kickstart afterwards. Now let's go ahead and talk about what pets we're currently using. Now, I know not everybody, and I mean this, not everybody's gonna have the team that I'm going to be using. So we are using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Titanics. 10 Titanics and a majority of huges that are either rainbow shiny, rainbow, golden shiny, golden, shiny, and rainbow, and so on and so forth. Now, during my last test that I ended up doing for the time trials, I actually tried my best to get to every single pet being level 99. And this lets me put as many charms as possible on all of them. Now, Big Games did something really amazing, which reduces the time it takes to go ahead and level up these little guys right here. So they came out with a book called Superior Wisdom. This is not necessary for anybody. However, for future events that might require your pets to be at the highest level and you're able to utilize them as soon as possible, this does help out greatly. It takes maybe, if that, maybe a day or two. I would say maybe 2 days to get these to at least level 99. And I primarily reserve these for any pets that are shiny, rainbow, stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, I want to go ahead and try to get these to be maximum. That way their damage cap is at the most highest that it can be. That way they are more utilizable. And I don't have to cry because I don't have to go out into the trade plaza and spend 500 and something million gems on an ultra huge potion, which allows your pet to be level 99 instantly. This enchant basically just eliminates that whole process because, like I said, it takes about a day or two depending on your team already to maximize all of them out. And of course, your stat pets. You do need to have a very good stat pet in order for this to be so much more quicker. The one that we're using currently right now is a glimmering goat that is rainbow shiny. Now, obviously, it's not the rainbow shiny and sister eagle, but it does way more damage just by a little bit, which is what I want. I'm not able to get this as a rainbow shiny. Holy moly, this thing is very hard to get. I want to say this is like 1 out of 4 million just as a base, give or take. It's an estimation. I'm not sure. I had to go look at the bot that lets me know the percentages and stuff, and I had to do math. It might be 1 out of 4 million or so. But obviously, you guys already know the drill. You already know that you have to do all these things to increase your luck and stuff like that. And maybe you might get lucky and get a rainbow shiny goat, or maybe you might even get luckier and get a rainbow shiny eagle thing. So we're doing the first round. This one itself, it took me about 3 minutes and 36 seconds. This is still in the process of me actually trying to figure out, okay, what enchant should we use? What does it feel like? And it's pretty much really easy to get this down. Now, again, if you haven't seen the time trial video where I basically go over like the methods, all the enchants and stuff, it's actually pretty much the same. There's nothing that changes all that much other than just using new stat pets and quite possibly even using rainbow shiny pets, stuff like that. But But the DPS at the very top, you actually do want to pay attention to because this lets you know if your DPS is high enough, the quicker that you're able to beat this. And obviously, the quicker that you're able to beat this, the more points that you end up getting for opening up chests. So you guys do need to pay attention to that at the very end of the day. Again, remember, you do have 5 tries before you do end up starting the actual trials itself. So try to make every single second count. I do only have 1 round left, meaning that I'm going to hit my maximum for the day and I'm going to have to wait until the next 24 hours to hit to go ahead and restart this. Now, all of the time actually does matter. However, keep in mind, any enchants that you end up using, make sure you end up empowering them. At the very end of the day, this is super important and you want to utilize absolutely everything inside of the game. This also includes trying your best to get cocktail 2s. I know they're super hard to find right now for whatever reason in the trade plaza. They're super duper scarce. I also use Christmas cookies and hot cocoa. Whether or not this does help you out, I don't know, but either way, I do use these sometimes, and whatever happens, if it's a placebo, it's a placebo. It helps me out. I like to have cocoa and cookie. And then obviously hasty flags right outside, whatever reason, I don't know, maybe it's a placebo, like I said again, whatever helps you out at the end of the day, it gives you a pillow, whatever you think might help you out, it will help you out. Hey, maybe we need support items, I don't know. So for the final round, I chose to not use the cocktail 2 because I wanted to see if it would actually apply to this, and to be quite honest, it does. I ended up losing some time, but that's okay because I still hit the 5,000 minimum that I need to go ahead and open up the 3rd chest. So if you're able, again, to get as much as possible to go ahead and do these, I would really recommend it. I would say you probably just need an hour's worth of this, so maybe 1 or 2 if you are able to find them. And if you're not, obviously, I know people have been using alt accounts to go ahead and actually just pretend they're brand new in the game and they end up buying it through like the newbie like menu screen that pops up. That's the only way that I know people are end up getting these in the masses, but it's just so hard to find them. So I finally decided to go ahead and open it. The first time that I was able to open this up, I ended up getting one of the orbs stuck on top of the chest, so you do have to end up claiming it, otherwise an egg's not going to pop out, which I didn't even know. But I ended up getting 2 huges out of the first 5,000 that I was able to get, which is actually really nice because this only takes what? For me, it took about 5 tries to end up getting the 5,000. If anything, it's definitely under 30 minutes for me, so that was definitely an awesome test to do for only 30 minutes. Okay, with the moment of truth, obviously right now I'm at my final 5,000. So I have to wait until tomorrow to go ahead and basically do this all over again. So we're gonna go ahead and claim another chest and we're gonna see what we end up getting. Okay, I got 2. I got 2, another 2. So that's actually really good. I got another 2. Okay, so I got I got 3. Dude. Okay, I gotta take a look at this. I didn't expect to get 3 actually. I thought I only got 2. So I got a huge telescope owl and I got 2 huge starry eye bunnies. How many of these? So this is at a 1.5% chance to actually get. Now, of course, over time, once people do find about how broken this actually is, Big Games did do an announcement inside of their little blog update for this Saturday's update stating that they did buff the chest, meaning that everybody has the choice to either do the basketball world event or choosing to do this. But remember, don't depend on this a little too much because we do have a total run event thing. Okay, so I have 9 runs left. Okay, wait, so is this not a daily thing or how does this actually work? Because I remember it said that I only had 1 left. I am so confused. If I'm able to do this continuously, we're gonna find out, okay? I have to find this out because this is definitely super duper broken if this is, you know, a continuation of everything. All right, let me go ahead and test this out then. Okay, so after about 15 minutes later, I can go ahead and open a new chest. So I'm gonna see what I end up getting out of this one and then we're gonna go ahead and call it a day. So I got 2 eggs out of this one, I think. So maybe we'll get some more huges. Let's go. Okay, so I got 2 starry-eyed bunnies, which is totally fine. All right, so during this whole process, I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 huges out of this. Now, this is really good so long as you're able to get the points for them. Otherwise, if you don't have the pets to go ahead and do all of these time trials and stuff, then you're gonna struggle a little bit. Now, if you're not wanting to do the basketball event, this is clearly a great way to go ahead and get huges. Whether you want to go ahead and get them to sell or use at the very end of the day, it's totally up to you. Just like that, all of my hot cocoa, Christmas cookies, stuff like that is coming to an end. And my cocktail too still has 35 minutes in, and I'm just still standing around trying to figure out what else to say during this video. But I wonder if this is currently the easiest huge to get from a chest. Now, it's not going to be the same as you actually getting one of these keys over here, the MVP key. The difference is you have to go ahead and go buy these, and maybe you might get lucky, who knows, but I've seen people spend billions of gems on these to not get anything. So the only difference with this is there's only 4 Titanics in here, but you do have to put the work inside of it in order to have a good chance of maybe even remotely getting lucky. But this is a phenomenal way to go ahead and try to get a ton of huges from this. So yeah, remember, at the very end of the day, you have 10 tries, and I'll be honest, I haven't completed all of them out because I was literally like, you know what, I've hit 5,000, good enough. I'll have to do this again at another time later on during the day to see if I'm able to get more huges out of this and maybe even get a Titanic. So if you're bored of just kind of waiting around for the basketball event to actually hit all of those huge icons and maybe you might get lucky of getting a huge, this is another great way to go ahead and actually accumulate some points and having that 7% chance of getting a huge pet basically. And until then, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Okay, bye.